because these gangs, when they turn against you in future, you are not going to live a very good life. And I have spoken to some of my friends here personally and told them, please leave that business of supporting or abetting gangs. Mr. Speaker, on terms of prosecution, I agree with Majority Leader. We will continue. I think we need to continue pushing for the judiciary to allow us to take these people to court. Mr. Speaker, on the question of yes, I agree, and I need to come back to this house later on the details of what we will do or what we are still doing about the June 25th invasion of Parliament, among others. Mr. Speaker, last statement, let me say this. No politician should come to us thinking that they are coming with clean hands. I see some of them going to issue press statements because his gangs have been overpowered by the gangs of his opponent. You know? So because you lost the battle that day, you call a press conference. And you know, you accuse the police, you accuse the government, you have a selective memory of mentioning my name, you know, and become even tribal in terms of determining which police officer or public officer you are going to mention. Mr. Speaker, we are not going to allow that. We will deal with those gangs ruthlessly. And every time we have dealt with them ruthlessly, those politicians don't get out of their houses to campaign because they cannot do it without goons. on the issue of Honorable KJ, that was number one. Number two was Honorable Mumina. We are dealing with the Isiolo issue. That issue is of great concern. I agree with you that perhaps we should have gone hard early. Our police officers also, and the team that is doing operation are also strained, particularly during this drought period, because the problems have gone up. You see, we are dealing with a problem from all the way from Turkana and West Pokot. You come to at least we managed to deal with West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, Baringo internally, which was internal Baringo. We have stabilized a lot of Laikipia. We've come to Samburu, and Laikipia is stabilized except in north. So that challenge of Isiolo and Meru is the one that giving us headache with the one of Turkana and West Pokot around Aro area. And because the Special Operation Group has been doing a very good job, they are also small in number. We need to train more. We need to give them more resources because they're using specialized equipment so that we can be able to solve that issue. I promise you that we will deal with this operation, but we will put in place measures for long-term presence of government. You see, we have our biggest problem is in Mukokodo Forest and those areas of Malaso, La Bendera Hills. Those places we are working to make sure that we have government training facilities in those areas. And I'm glad that the Nyeri members of parliament are here. The last time I was in those regions and said we will take part of the training of police officers to those areas, people were up in arms because they don't understand our country. Yeah, you saw some people saying we are closing Kikanjo and close it and take there because of cheap politics. What we want to do is that instead of our police officers only training in Embakasi, Kikanjo, and these areas in terms of field work and practicals, we better have practical training facilities around those areas so that we can increase security presence there. And it's not just for the police, it also includes the KDF. Next week, I'll be sitting also with the conservancies. We've facilitated the conservancies to have NPR to a high level, and they have very good equipment. We want to see how they will cooperate with the National Police Service. I have a meeting with them next week to see how we can collaborate together using the NPR. And finally, we are vetting the NPR. Those NPRs who have been also turning to become criminals, we are going to deal with them. And if we deal this problem in Isiolo and Samburu, then the people of Meru are going to be free because those criminals call Meru the ATM area. They like going to attack the Meru side because they know that they are not as armed criminals in Meru side as it is in the other parts. I agree with you also that we have had another phenomenon where pastoralists, when they move, they want that area to be gazetted to be their administrative unit. Either a chief moves during grazing period like now to Isiolo, and they want to extend the boundaries and move with their chief and establish a location and so forth. We have been dealing with that phenomenon, and we have said that as a ministry, before gazetting any administrative unit, we must get proper intelligence report and proper public participation to ensure that we are not encroaching on each other's administrative boundaries. I am happy. I just want to tell you, Honorable Mumina, I almost called Mumina, that the problem of Isiolo also is that all of you come to our offices, want officers to be transferred. You are fighting as leaders. So depending on which leader came last, one comes today, say that county commander is a bad one. The next one comes, this one is a bad one. The one comes, next one. Don't transfer your political problems to security officers, because one of the effective county police commander who was there was transferred after all this noise was saying that, this man is not working. Now everybody is saying he should come back after the insecurity happened. We couldn't have reached where we are if the police officers were not interfered, if the work of the police officers was not interfered with. And so we have had to bring him back, but in the neighboring county. And that kind of work, the IG is under immense pressure when their officers are also not being given operational space or opportunity to work because of political interference. And then on the issue of KJ, this is another area that judiciary is becoming an impediment. The laws, there's no lack of legislation. It's enforcement. And every time DCI carries out enforcement, the courts, without blinking, just give out court orders. Look at that blog called Kenya Times, and another one called, there's another one called 7 something 7. Yeah? Channel 7 something. They post fake news continuously. Sometimes inciting communities, and they will put your picture. I saw they put Honorable Memusi's face yesterday, and they're saying Memusi has said community X must not stay in Kajiado and so forth. And it's allowed to just sit there. If you arrest and take person to court, the first thing is the court say freedom of expression. Where is the freedom of expression when that person is inciting ethnic tensions in the country? So the DCI, as you've asked, does it not have capacity? Does it require more laws? No. What it requires is more tools and equipment and more officers to be trained. So we have been consulting with our budget committee to see how to capacitate the DCI strength. We have strengthened the DCI cybersecurity team, but we need to have them to have more equipment and to have more resources so that they can be able to hire the young people, the young Gen Zs who can assist us to unravel some of these challenges that we have within the cyberspace. On the question of Honorable Nguris, I have taken note of your concern. It has been a great concern. There were security changes in the past. There is a complaint across the country. You saw Honorable Waida and everybody here. I don't think there is a county where people are not complaining of overstaying police officers. And so what should happen after the recruitment in August, after the pass-out parade in August, September, we should be able to do massive rationalization, bring in new energy who have come from college, move and mix it with those who have experience and make the necessary transfers. Remember, I promised, courtesy of Jukwala Usalama report, and the IG promised that we are going to also help our officers who have been operating in frontier counties like Lamu, Tana River, Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Marsabit, Turkana, West Pokot, Samburu, give them an opportunity also to move from those areas, especially those who have served for 5, 7, 8 years. It should be 3 years and someone moves. So that will be possible after the pass-out parade in about September, that we can do massive transfers. However, that does not mean that in places like Samburu, where the leadership have failed, the Inspector General of Police is going to look into the deployment in that area, and we have consulted while we were here. On the question of equity of distribution of resources, you see everybody is touching where Nabi thinks because he's only looking at his constituency. He thinks he's the only constituency that has a problem. Nearly everyone here, I don't know a constituency here that has enough police vehicles. Yeah, I don't think there is a constituency here that has enough police vehicles. Everybody requires police vehicles. And the reason is because we are about 6 to 7 years behind schedule in terms of replacing the ones that were procured 2014. So because of that, there is a problem. And so there was a replacement recently when the IG replaced about 70 cars to replace different police stations. And then there's another one coming up for 200 and so. But indeed, we need about 2,000 vehicles to serve police. And the procurement process has been curtailed by lack of proper resources that we have always required. We were hoping that we get 3,000 last year. By end of last year, we started procurement. The financial resources were not available enough for the same. So we are working now 1,200, which we hope we can get in the next few months. I see the MP of Langata, among others. Even Nairobi, I thought you should just hire a border, among others, Mr. Speaker. The third issue. So this issue is going to be sorted with systematically by having proper, in the 200 that is coming, we need to equitably send. What we have told the officers, if we send to different counties, you share as we improve the numbers. You share the vehicles that we are able to send. Honorable Protas, I am glad you are asking this question of West Pokot and Turkana County, Mr. Speaker, is because we haven't serious operation that happened in the lower belt has not reached that corner of Aro, the question of Kainuk, and those areas. Mr. Speaker, when the serious operation happened in Baringo County and Elgeyo Marakwet, in Tiatich, in Baringo North, in Marakwet East, and those parts of Pokot, Sigor, a smaller part of Sigor. Most of the criminals went to hide in Sigor. The border of Sigor, Samburu East, not Samburu East, Turkana East, and in Aro, which is Turkana South. And so they are hiding around Masol, which is in his places like Takaiwa, places like Kaptalomo, places like Lomelo, those areas, and the Amaya areas. So now we have about 3,000 to 4,000 guns wielding bandits hiding around that belt. Sometimes when you hear, Mr. Speaker, and I must say this here because my county was also affected. When you hear political leaders speaking, you will think their county is safe and clean. You will think that there are no bandits in their own county. You hear Turkana MP speaking, you will think Turkana is clean place. You hear a politician standing and saying, Murkomen must resign. But Mr. Speaker, even those who are speaking like that, you know that he was buying a gun. The intelligence report shows that he has bought a gun just the other 2 weeks. He has bought bullets to support banditry. You see, you can fool other people, but you can't fool me because I come from that area. So, Mr. Speaker, the thing we are doing is to enable the SOG team, Mr. Speaker, to have a greater strength for us to be able to assault that area. I've told you 3,000, almost 4,000 guns operating around that belt, especially after some of the criminals ran away from the Baringo side and from some West Pokot side, especially Sikor constituency, to go and confine themselves in that particular area. Remember that these are attacks. Sometimes they come and attack West Pokot, like they did some weeks ago. At the moment, I don't know where they have a better strength to attack the side of Turkana. Turkana has that area of Lokichar, that area of Aro, that area of Kainuk has suffered consistent attacks in the last 2-3 weeks. But, Mr. Speaker, I promise you this. The way, Mr. Speaker, we freed most parts of Baringo, Elgeyo Marakwet, some parts of West Pokot, and Laikipia, Mr. Speaker, we shall free that border of West Pokot and Turkana. I promise you. It will be, at the moment, the criminals are running around because they know that is still a safe area. But give us a few months, Mr. Speaker, they will have to surrender all those guns that they have. At the moment, as I read in my statement, we have collected over 1,200 guns in West Pokot, in Elgeyo Marakwet, small parts of West Pokot, Elgeyo Marakwet, and Baringo. Mr. Speaker, as we move towards Turkana, we expect not less than 3,000 guns to be surrendered. And Mr. Speaker, it will be painful. Forget about the noise you hear now, politicians speaking. The day we do what we have to do, the noise will be unmanageable. And I am prepared for that noise because I have gone through it before. The IG is prepared, the National Police Service. Because why will it be painful, Mr. Speaker? It's because, again, as I said earlier, the sponsors are sitting in this house. You know, their associates and their PAs are the ones who are buying the bullets and the guns. And Mr. Speaker, you will hear in the news, the day the police catch up with their associates and their PAs and their friends who are supplying those guns and bullets, Mr. Speaker, when they are apprehended by police service, you will hear them come here with statements and issue other press conferences. I will never be intimidated when it comes to this issue of banditry. We will deal with it and deal with it with finality, Mr. Speaker. And no amount of press conferences and stories. People, if it helps them to speak in press conferences to get votes, maybe. But I'm not going to do politics on this issue of security. We are going to make sure that West Pokot and Turkana are going to fight in classrooms with pens and books, not using guns, Mr. Speaker, and bullets. Mr. Speaker, let me also add that I saw the other day, let me use this opportunity to clarify something. At the moment, my ministry is carrying out massive ID registration in Turkana, West Pokot, and Turkana and West Pokot. And Mr. Speaker, that exercise, I went and launched it in Turkana, in West Pokot, in Kapenguria. On the same day, after launching that exercise, and we were with all the elected leaders of West Pokot, I went to meet the security team in Kainuk to plan on the operations we are supposed to plan. I felt very sad that some of the elected leaders from Turkana said, I went to meet West Pokot MPs and I didn't go and meet them. Mr. Speaker, these were two different assignments. On one hand, we are doing registration, and I'm going to Turkana in Lodwa to sit also with the leaders there to see how to assist them. They have been requesting that they need their people to have IDs. I'm going there to discuss matters of ID, and Mr. Speaker, they can leave to us to deal with the operation first. We'll have a meeting of leaders of both sides after the operation has become very painful. At the moment, it's still, people are just laughing and calling press conference. When it becomes painful, when no one will be able to speak, we will have our meeting between the two leaders, and it will be hallelujah at that point in time. The Speaker, Honorable Shabir, has raised the same issues of vehicles I have responded to. I agree with him on the question of land. We at the Ministry of Interior are working out to see how we can secure police assets, land especially. Land for immigration, for police, for government is being grabbed all over. When we went to Kitui, when we were doing the national celebration in Kitui, we realized some of our land has been grabbed by unscrupulous business people in town. And that is the case everywhere. Kitale, Nakuru, Kisumu, as has been said, especially these urban areas, because it's prime land. Mr. Speaker, we are working on the process of documentation, being assisted by Minister of Lands, to see how we can secure. It will also require some money to do fencing. Where we can do together with NGCDF, let's help each other, because that is an area that we need a lot of support to secure the land. On the operationalization of administrative units, as I said, it requires 2.2 billion to operationalize all of them. We are unable to do all of them, but I don't think there's a sub-county gazetted which we have not operationalized. Gazetted. I don't think there's a sub-county gazetted. I can say this with a lot of confidence. Gazetted sub-counties have all been operationalized. The last ones were done early this year. If there is a member of parliament who thinks his has not been gazetted, text me after this. They will all be gazetted. All the sub-counties gazetted will be operational. All. I can say that with confidence. We are moving now to divisions to see whether we can finish the divisions. The biggest challenge is the locations and the sub-locations.